This may or may not be based on a true story. Imagine a young boy, laundry all over his room, all mixed together, just a mess, a big smelly heap. And while he's gone at school, messing around, not paying attention in math class, his mother comes in, puts the dark clothes in one pile, the light clothes in another pile, takes them to the laundry room, cleans them, has them all back, folded and clean. We have a God of order, and we have a God of logic, not of stark rule following, but of pleasurable separation and order. We have a very marvelous reading from the book of Genesis, which is an incredible book, not only in the Bible, but in our, human deposit of literature. Because you compare this to other myths and legends of how the world began from other cultures and religions, and a lot of them start with gods either lusting after each other or cutting each other's heads off and making islands out of them, and a lot of other warring. But our God is different because God makes everything out of love, out of care, and out of order and logic. He separates light from the dark. He separates fruit from vegetables, sea from land, animals from man and male and female. These aren't separations to separate and divide, but distinctions, because when we can distinctly identify him as Larry and him as George and her as Mary, you have identity and you have freedom in that. So this distinction is not to separate, but to give honor to. And one is not bad, one is not good, but I'm reminded of how this order and logic is undone. The very curious word is used in the Gospel of Mark today. They scurried about the surrounding country. All these people are just scurrying. The image I get is ants. And they're scurrying about, being sick, being sinful, being afflicted, and just trying to get healed, just trying to make it through the day. And of course, Jesus comes and heals them, and they touch him. But there's one thing that connects Genesis, all this order and pleasurable beauty, to all these scurrying, sick, diseased ants. And that's sin, and then that's the undoing of sin. Our mother, Mary, comes into the picture, and she reminds us what it's like to have separated laundry, to have our ducks in a row, and to have everything clean and pressed. She gives way to Jesus, and then both of them, Mary and Jesus, in their unsinning lives, give us an example of why it is better to go back, leave the scurrying, leave our sick, sinful lives, and go back to how it was in the beginning of the universe when God created everything. We have an opportunity to go back to that order and that distinction in just a few moments when we receive the Eucharist. I'm going to break the host in two, and then those will be broken up even more and separated, made distinctly pieces for each one of us. So as we celebrate Our Lady of Lourdes and her apparitions and her many gifts and guidances to us, let's keep in mind that while it is nice and easy to just have a big mess of laundry in our middle of our room, overall it's better to separate the light from the dark. Amen.